Hello everyone, so I just saw Scarra's video on Scarra, my honest thoughts about the current state of the game. It hit Reddit. I think it's a very negative video. He doesn't like the meta. He thinks it's too much toxicity. I have a notepad here because I wrote it down. The things, it's over here, this one. So basically what Scarra is saying is there's too much damage, there's missing armor and magic resist, which we had previously in runes and so on. Now Riot have added stuff like bone plating instead of the armor and magic resist to negate that and other runes. For example, electrocute for more damage and all those kind of things, aftershock and so on. Now, he compares it to World of Warcraft PvP as well. He says there's too little finesse, people can kill too fast against 2 or more people. My thoughts are basically just the CC is too strong, not necessarily the damage, because nowadays there's so much CC. You look at Siswani and whatever, a lot of the champs are ridiculous CC and engaged. You see Rakan as an example, she just flies into your team and just going to be an engaged, right? I think that's the majority of the problem. Anyways, then he says League of Legends subreddit negative. I would say losing the rules. I think there's too much rules on the subreddit. I think a problem is there's not all the content creators that there used to be. And most people don't have a reason to go on Reddit if they are popular at all, because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, content gets removed all the time, so many rules, so many problems. It's just too much of a bother. I remember back in the day, you had Hotshot posting all the time, Darius was posting all the time, I was posting, Reginald was posting. All of the people that were popular and interesting were posting all the time on the subreddit, right? Which doesn't happen anymore. You see Scarra's videos here, it's posted by Regretful, not by Scarra. And I don't even think Scarra is allowed to post a video, right? So he needs to make the video and wait for somebody else to post it, even though he thinks this is a great discussion for Reddit. And you even see Scarra, because he loves Reddit, he loves League of Legends community, come in here and he writes, because he's probably checking all the time. Like, I check Reddit 10 times a day or more, probably more. And he sees the post and he starts writing in it. And that's awesome. I love this because this is some of the best content you can ever get on Reddit. Think about it. Scarra writing in Reddit. That's awesome. Darius writing in Reddit. TF Blade writing in Reddit. Doublelift, Björksen, anyone, it's good content because those are the people you want to write there, in my opinion. Along with all the normal people as well, of course. Now, then let's go further. He talks about League of Legends toxicity as a whole. He talks about him getting flamed, and because maybe he's playing random champions, he's first timing champions, doing new builds and stuff. And then he talks about being flamed from people flaming him days ago. And then after that, he says he thinks people flame them because they hate the game and not because he's first timing champions, which I disagree with, but that's not important. Anyways, I'm quickly going over all these things and I'm going to do all my thoughts. The last thing is content creators not streaming during LCS. In the past, that didn't really happen. Most people were supporting LCS, but nowadays they are. I think the main reason for that is actually because most content creators don't care about LCS anymore, but I'm going to go more into that. Now, let's see. So, first of all, I'm going to do my thoughts on the game. So, I think the game right now is in an amazing state. I think it's very skill-based. I like the damage. I do think there's maybe a little too much CC, as I talked about earlier. And there's too much engage. For example, Rakan, Siswani. Like, back in the day, you used to have an Ash arrow as a good engage, right? Like, back in the good old days. You had Ash arrow. That was your main engage. And people played around Ash arrow to engage. Nowadays, you have everyone can just engage almost. Like Siswani, so many champions, it's ridiculous. So I think what Riot needs to do is try to tune down the AoE CC and the CC from champions. As example, like, we can just go to Games of Legends and check what do they have. Look at Games of Legends. So if you look at engaging champions, we have Ornn, absolutely fucking bonkers. Gragas is pretty insane as well. Kennen is pretty decent. Now it's a counter engage, so that's not that big of a deal. Then in the jungle, you have Siswani, you have Gragas again, you have Tally with the wall. I think Noxian is fine though. Like, my point is just that the problem is then you add all of these champions together. For example, you have an Alistar, Ornn, and Siswani, right? All of that CC added together becomes ridiculous. Same with Rakan and so on. In the past, you mainly had 1 or 2 champs that could engage with less CC than the ones nowadays. And nowadays, I think it's just become too much of who can smash the AoE CC onto the enemy team and catch somebody and just kill him. Which I do think is a problem, but I don't think the problem is the damage. I think the problem is the CC. For example, if you go back a couple of seasons, we had tank metas. Tank metas was super boring. You could never kill anyone. You're just fighting, sitting around, waiting for AD carries to kill everybody, scale up. Or even in Season 4, if you go even further back, the problem was in Season 4 that you literally couldn't kill each other's top laners. You would have a Shyvana and a Mundo or something similar to that. And both of them just walks past the enemy tower early game and start proxy farming the enemy wave, because you couldn't die. Even if the jungler comes, you're most likely not going to die, like Sins does nowadays, but all champions way worse, right? And both teams would be doing it. So that was a huge problem in the past. I think that is something they should never go back to. I love the damage. I love the shutdown goal you have now. I love how you can carry games again, I feel like, right? Like if you look at my, I have an account over here I played on recently, and I feel like I can actually carry games. These stats were old. This is old stats. These ones down here from old metas. And Renekton and Jax is only from this meta alone. So basically I have, I think, 4 losses and like 30 wins or something like that. I feel like you can carry in the games again. You have the option to carry if you play well enough. I think that's great. You have the option to make an impact in the game and feel like you have an identity, then you join the game. And I think that's important. And this doesn't mean, oh, so now you're just going to rise in ranks. No, I'm going to be at the skill level I am at. And whoever is the best in the game is just going to have more impact, which I think is how the game should be. And I don't want to go back to a game where the problem is that you don't have enough impact, so you get frustrated at your team because you're doing slightly better than the opponent, but you're not doing good enough to carry, right? But now you can actually carry as well. You have options. Now, let's talk about toxicity. I do agree that League of Legends is toxic right now. It's not good. Nobody likes toxic games. What should they do about it, though? I think Riot haven't done jack shit about it. I think Riot have been dropping the ball really hard here. I think they've been terrible. First of all, let's look at the fact that you can open the GG somebody before the game. So let's say I'm going into a game and I see this guy. It's a random guy I found. Who is this? Oh, this guy. It doesn't matter. This guy, I randomly found him. And let's see, I'm against him. Or I'm with him. I'm with him in a game. And I see him log in Kai'Sa. And I'm like, oh, I can just check and open the GG. What's my team like? And I see, oh, my Kai'Sa have 30% win rate. And then at that point, people already start flaming each other, right? I don't think people should have the option to open the GG others before the game even starts. Heck, I don't even think the name should be shown at all. I think it should just be player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. But we'll get more into that later. The problem is, then you know the skill, or how good somebody is. You're going to have expectations from them based on something that haven't started in the game. Like, not based on their play in the game, but based on stats that you see from other games. Maybe he's improved since then, right? Like, maybe this guy lost his first 10 games, and then he started getting good on the champion and learning it, and he became much better. Maybe he started playing Kai'Sa in ranked for the first times, right? Where other people practice in normals, and now he's actually good. And these stats are just going to make toxicity worse. I don't like it. I don't think it should be possible. I think names should be hidden. Now, this is the wrong document. Sorry about that. Now, let's get to the next one. So, yeah, names. I think names should be hidden for a lot of reasons. I'll get into that in the ghosting section. So let's go for voice chat. I think voice chat is something that needs to be added. Voice chat is very important because I think it stops toxicity, right? A lot of people don't want to talk shit. Like, I had people that flamed me in higher elos, and sometimes you discount higher elo because you want to just talk with people while you're playing. I had people that flamed me, you know? Then you get on Discord server together the day after or something. He didn't flame me in chat still. I had one guy, he flamed me one day, then the next day he flames me again in chat, and then the next same day, right? But the next game we play together again, and we on Discord, me, him, and somebody else. There was no flaming. It was a pleasant game, and we made up. We didn't have any problems anymore after that, which is an interesting aspect, right? Because being able to talk to other people, I feel like removes a lot of flame. Yes, there's going to be some idiots that just screams into microphones and are obnoxious, but you just mute them and you're fine. I think it's a valuable thing. I think voice chat needs to be added for all players. It's very important. And I think it's a shame that it's not added yet. Yes, I know Riot added for teammates if you do a queuing and so on, but I don't think that's important. I think it's important to be able to do it with people you don't know, right? Because imagine I'm duo queuing with someone. I can just be like, yo, do you want to go TeamSpeak? Do you want to go Discord, right? There's so many options. Now, let's get into a topic that I'm very big on. So, personally, this is not a topic that hurts me. I don't know if any of you guys watch my stream. Maybe some of you do, maybe some of you don't. But the thing is that my viewers have actually grown since I started using delay. Because I'm winning more, I'm looking better, and all of that is fine. So I'm using a delay now, I'm gaining viewers, and ghosting isn't a problem for me. However, I think ghosting is one of the biggest problems for League of Legends. Now, let me get into that. I believe ghosting hurts EU LCS, NA LCS, all pro play. Because when did people love LCS? People loved LCS and Hotshot was playing. All the people that were streaming were playing, right? But as a pro player, if I was a pro player right now, I would never in my life stream. Because the problem is streaming with delay is less fun. It's just less interesting. It's a fact. And streaming reduces your practice. It doesn't give you an optimal place to practice, right? Imagine you do something very well 4 times, but it doesn't work 3 of the times due to the fact that you got ghosted and people found out about it. You might not know you got ghosted there. So you're going to start thinking, oh, maybe this was a bad play. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. But maybe you were supposed to do that exact play, but it just failed due to getting ghosted, right? And similar things to that. You can't play as aggressive as you should due to ghosting. You can't hide in the enemy jungle and wait for somebody to face check and get those sneaky kills that you otherwise could. And you just lose a lot of opportunities, right? You lose a lot of opportunities. You have to play in a certain way for streaming for it to work properly. Like you just have to play 1v1, things you know, play around vision, all of those things. And often you won't be able to make the sneaky plays as much. So I think that's a huge problem. I think pro players will not be able to stream as long as ghosting exists. I think it's very easy to fix. Remove names, remove OPGGs, make people have an invisible mode. So you literally cannot see them, no matter what. You won't be able to find out who it is. Yes, you could still ghost if you take every single streamer, but nobody's going to take every single streamer, right? Let's be real for a second. Nobody will do that. So it is a very good anti-ghosting measure to just remove all possibilities for people to see who you are. And it hurts LCS tremendously. And I think, honestly, the streamer's not the one hurts the most from ghosting, right? Let's say I'm an up-and-coming pro. Let's say I was an up-and-coming pro. I wanted to go pro. I wasn't a streamer or anything at that point. And my only goal is to be in LCS. What is the best way for me to get onto LCS, right? Just think about it for 2 seconds. What is the best way for me to get onto LCS? If somebody asked me that question, I would have to tell him, first of all, you get really good at the game. He's mastered that challenge at this point already, right? And then every single streamer you find, you ghost them. Because the higher you are on the ladder, right? If you go on the ladder, the higher you are, the easier it is to be picked up. It's just a fact, right? Because you might get the chance that somebody else doesn't. Imagine you're ranked 5. And then somebody else is ranked 27. You guys are roughly equal skill, but you're higher ranked due to the fact that you ghosted people. So you get the opportunity first, potentially. That means you can potentially earn money from playing the game due to the fact that you cheated and ghosted. And I think that hurts LCS. And it hurts everybody. And it also hurts LCS due to the fact that pros can't really stream properly, in my opinion, and get the optimal practice. And also it hurts content creators, right? That brings content to the game. A lot of content creators are getting annoyed because they can't showcase their skill fully because they get ghosted a lot. I know TF Blade is getting ranked 1 regardless. This guy is a fucking legend. He's amazing. I watch his stream a lot because it's ridiculous how he does it. But a lot of content creators gets really frustrated with ghosting, and that's another massive burden of negativity upon them. And not everybody is growing regardless of using delay like I am, because a lot of people have a very close-knit community where they have to constantly talk to them. And that's awesome, because I feel like interacting with the community is great, for those people. So ghosting is overall hurting League of Legends a lot. Streamers, the people in the games with a streamer, pro players, it's hurting up-and-coming talent that doesn't ghost. So overall, it's just a terrible thing. And then now content creators, I feel like content creators don't have a place to go anymore, if that makes sense. Back in the day, every content creator was on Reddit. Every content creator was writing on Reddit, but the rules got more and more strict, and content creators were like, nah, I don't want to deal with this shit. Stuff gets removed, it's annoying. I can't even post my own video if I make something really important. Like this video, for example. I think, imagine I made a video, somebody else made a video, I'll Dominate made a video, like a lot of people made a video, and we all posted on Reddit ourselves. People would love that shit. And then we could comment, we could talk about it, we could have discussions, The problem now is that you're not allowed to do that. So for me, I don't know if this is even going to hit Reddit as an example, right? I'm just going to have to hope somebody else uploads. And if they don't, it's like, whatever, That's how it works now. And I think that is a problem, because it's more interesting to go to a Reddit post and see people, like, for example, I love the fact that Scarra posted in his video. I love it. I think it's great, because it reminds me of the good old days. And I read every single post. He posted a lot more than just these. He posted further down too. He wrote a lot of posts, like here's one, and it adds so much to the subreddit. Imagine you had Björksen post, Doublift, whoever, Sven, Miffy, anyone. It doesn't really matter who it is, right? But having those people is amazing, I think. So I really wish that was the case. I wish it was better in that regard. Let me open the right document. I think it's this one, yeah. I wish it was better in that way. I think there's a lot of things Riot needs to improve on. But overall, I just want to say my thoughts on the game is the current meta is the best it's been since Season 3. I don't think there's a better meta since Season 3. It's absolutely amazing right now. I love it. There's some things they could improve upon, as I already mentioned, in my opinion. But yeah, I love League right now. I love the meta, and I think it's great. I think Riot have to fix things that are more outside of the game related than inside the game. Anyways, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.